Welcome, everybody. It is evening in my area of the world. It's daytime probably for some of you, but we are global. And today we are going to be talking about packages and room inventory, and specifically how to set it up on YouLi software. The reason we're here is because it's a great new feature that we recently launched, and it's a big deal because it makes a difference to travel planners and to travelers. It makes your life significantly easier. It automates a lot of processes that you probably are doing manually right now, like people going to shared room versus single rooms, and how that all payments come together, right? And how you manage spots that you booked on your trip. So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. For those of you who do not have a YouLi account yet, please feel free to sign up. And you can actually go ahead and open your YouLi screen right now as we speak, if you're in front of your computers. Because we're going to be doing a little bit of specifics technicals demo, and Ellie will help me on that. If you don't have YouLi yet, let me tell you what we are about. Once I figure out why my screen doesn't go to the next slide. Here you go. Okay, so we at YouLi take care of three main things, which are itineraries, of course. We help you build beautiful, personalized, interactive itineraries for your travelers. And you may not call them that, your participants, your students, whoever you're taking on that retreat, trip, adventure excursions with you and leading them on the way. We, of course, also take care of bookings where you take payments, you get paid, and we help you do it fast. And the unique thing that we do that none of the other booking platforms does is tasks for travelers. So we help you prepare travelers for the journey the way before the trip actually starts, the departure. During it, when they have to complete all the documents, forms, now it's going to be health questionnaires, post-COVID checks, whatever it is, follow-ups, intention settings, anything that goes into task during the trip, and follow up with them after the trip as well. So those are the three great things. Most of the other platforms stop at itineraries and bookings. We do all three. And today we're going to be talking about the booking part of it and packages, how to set it up, why you need it, how it can actually improve your customer satisfaction and increase your profit at the same time, which is a great win-win to have. Always, and what it looks like in your operations in the back end. And Ellie will also here tell us about what it looks like on the front end for your travelers, how clients go through that. That's also a great feature that you sometimes have to do it per self manually. We at YouLi automate it so you can view everything that your traveler views. So manage rooms, limit size, how to set up max cap on groups to do not get overbooked, to make sure you have your rooms assigned efficiently. Minimum number of signups, invitation groups. You require at least 5 people to be on the trip for the trip to be profitable for you. You can automate it now. And on top of that, you will let your travelers know how many spots you have left. So if some of your potential clients are thinking, may not get to that trip, here you say 3 spots left. There's 2 spots left on the trip. They're probably going to go and give you that deposit. So when they give you the deposit, they're booked. That's it. That's an example of what it may look like when you post it on your website. This is credited by Run Wild Retreats, an American company who runs retreats for women and do a lot of beautiful marathons. So if you notice on the bottom of this, it says from US 1995 over here. That means they have options. It may be 1995, it may be 2, 3, 5, and a high, depending on the package you choose for that trip. And that's the packages we're talking about. And here, I'm going to give it to Ellie. Planner view, what do you see, your team sees, client journey, what your travelers experience on their side. Give it away. Hey, Ellie.
Awesome. I'm going to steal the screen from you, which I think I can do. Awesome. So, hi guys. I actually don't recognize everyone's faces, but I'm Ellie. I'm like all things support. Karen, I don't know if we've ever met, but I know a lot about your website and your trips, and they're beautiful. So nice to meet you. But if at any point you're like, I just want to say hi to Ellie, this chat box down at the bottom, that's literally me. So feel free to reach out at any time. And if you do have any questions at any point on your trip, actually reaching out via this chat box is really helpful for me because it shows me what page you're on the YouLi trip. So I can really address your problem really quickly if you have one. But now to dig into packages. So packages are essentially when you are going to be taking bookings on a trip. You find packages where you found pricing before. So it's under update trip pricing. But now if you're creating a new trip, you will be prompted. Sorry guys, about people joining, which is awesome. But you will be prompted to choose between brochure mode or bookings mode. Brochure mode is when you really just want to use the YouLi platform for itineraries. And when you choose bookings mode, that's when you're actually able to take payments on the trip that you're creating. So to access packages, right, you want to make sure that you're in bookings mode. And then right there at the top is where you choose your packages. I know a lot of you guys are YouLi alums. So if you already have pricing on your trips, you will see a label that says standard package. So any trip that had just one singular price, which they all did before, right, that got converted into just a single package called standard package. And from there, right, you can build then your other packages and rename and everything. So with the launch of packages, so many other things came along, which is super exciting. So not only now do your travelers get to potentially choose from multiple price options, there's also a lot of other features that came along with the launch of packages that you as planners get to take advantage of. So you can, of course, name your package whatever you would like. It is managed as at a price per person. You can see your max bookings or inventory, right? So if you know you only have this set of rooms available, you can limit how many people can book. And this is where that feature of letting your travelers know when you're running out of space in a room or on a package will come into play. And I'll show you how all of that works in a minute once we go into that traveler view. Also with packages, you are going to be able to choose the visibility of that package for your travelers, and I'll dig into that as well. In this case, right, all of mine are published, which means all of my travelers can see all of these packages. And then, of course, you can manage those packages, change them, create new ones. So in this case, I have 3 packages and I have all of them already built. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into one of these packages and show you what it's like to either edit or build a package from scratch. So I'm going to jump into actually my couple package. So I'm going to click manage and then edit. And from here, right, is where I get to do all of the fun stuff. So of course, I can name my package here. This is where I set the price per person for that package. So this is a couple package, which means they will be booking in 2, and I'll dig into that in a minute. But notice that it's still priced per person. So each of these people booking will be paying this price. And then just so you don't have to ever use math, if you would like, you can also see that price per night, which can be super helpful for someone like me who is not numbers friendly. So underneath where you do the actual pricing for the packages is where you get to play around with that inventory. We also call it really truly max number of bookings as well, because it can work 2-pronged, right? You can limit how many people are allowed to book on that package. You can limit how many people are coming on that trip. You can set this based on room type. And then With that max number of bookings as well as inventory that you get to set, you also can choose a group size, a required group size for this specific package. So right, I've named this my couple package, meaning that I need people to be booking this package. It's priced at $4,500 because 2 people are booking it, right? I've locked in that rate because I know 2 people will be booking in at that rate. So when your travelers go to book this package, they will automatically get prompted, if they haven't already, to be adding that extra person to pay for. I also just want to point out, and this is where it gets nuanced and a little more complicated, but right, so I have 5 rooms in this case on this package, but 2 people are going to be booking per room on this package. So that actually means, right, 10 people are actually booking my trip when they're booking this package, if that makes sense. So there's lots of powerful ways that you can use this feature of YouLi to plan your trips that you do. I know Vika and I can dig into some of the examples later of other ways you can use packages. I'm just going to keep going with this example for now, but so many different ways you can utilize packages for the way that you run your travel and trips. So.
Ellie, just to bring it to everyone's attention, we did not cover it in the beginning. We just wanted to kind of dive into that. But if you have a question, feel free to post it in the chat box. If you don't cover it, you leave your email so we can contact you or your name and interrupt us. Yeah, those are real examples that you can use in your trips. And if you would like to know how exactly to apply to your situation, like how your booking process is working, please do ask. We'd love to hear that.
Exactly. I do also want to point out, I am going to probably touch base on invitation groups in YouLi and what it means to have your travelers sign up with more than just one person. By launching packages, we also really revamped this feature, and I want to finish the walkthrough of packages first, but I want to touch on that as well because it's really exciting. So quickly want to just touch on visibility as well. You can have publish, which means all your travelers, right, can see that package on their trip page. You can disable that package, meaning it's not accessible to your travelers and no one can book, including you as the planner, unless you change that visibility. And then you can also hide that package from your travelers, which means there's still like inventory and things on it, but your travelers can't book it. They can't see it on their trip page as well.
Ellie, I have a great question from Emily. She's asking, what if there's one out of 3 people in the room? How would it affect the price calculation? So I assume that you're asking, the room is meant for 3 people, only 1 person is occupying the room.
In some cases, there is a single person in the room, or there is a family with child, or 3 people.
Great question.
Like
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great question. So essentially in that case, I think you would actually be creating a different package. So let me actually show you my other 2 packages with this couple package, and potentially this answers your question. I just want to quick point out, you can also add a description to your packages, and you would do this here. So if I, sorry, whenever I load on Zoom, I'm just extra slow, but here we go. Just so we can see that when I show. Okay. And then I save. So to address your question, I think you would actually be creating different packages because there are different price points per the way that you're setting up those rooms. So right, for my couple package, they have to book as 2 people. So there's no other option because I've set that max required group size. I also have a package here that's with roommates, which means they could be with 2 other people in a room or 1 other person, right? It's just, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to set that roommate. And then I also have like a private room upgrade, which is the most expensive, which means I'm going to be reserving a whole special room for them. Does that answer your question at all? Or does that help clarify in some ways? I see Jen is off mute, so I'm thinking she has thoughts.
Well, Emily, did that answer your question?
So I have personal situation, like I'm traveling single, so a single person need to pay additional price in a double room, and it should be kind of specified. And there's a cases, and I have clients, couple with a child might be 18 years old, but there are two kind of life situations. And if we're speaking about group 10 people, we might have three couple, one single, and one family of three.
Yeah, and so in this case, you would exactly what Ellie just said. So the private room upgrade is the case that you indicated, which is that it's one person booking the entire room, but they're sort of saying, look, I want it for myself. And so the per person rate is obviously much higher in that case because they're paying for an entire room for themselves. Whereas if they're like, oh, I'm happy to book in with a roommate, then they're picking the ocean view room with roommates, and then they're paying a lower price. And you're just assuming you're going to pick up that extra amount from another person who's willing to book in sort of twin share and pay their per person price. And then if you had a family room, right, then you would have that as a particular price. And then you would just set like the minimum number of people you need to book this is 3 because the price per person is set for 3. And so that's how many people you can occupy this room. And then if you have weird combinations that come after that, you just have them book that room, pay their deposit and hold it, and then you can personalize their price afterwards. So you build your packages around the perfect scenario. But then if you end up with people who are like, well, I've got 4, but one of them is a 2-year-old, so I don't want to pay extra for that. You have them book into the 3-person one, and then you manage the sort of personalized price to handle those exceptions after they've put their deposit down.
But at the end, people need to pay full price. So, for the time being, I can be okay with deposit, but kind of total price should be provided. So
yeah, that's what you would do. I mean, you basically put it out there as like the family room costs this much per person when you have 3 people in it. So you require the min size. So what Ellie was just showing you, right? The required group size is 3. So that's what you would set there. I think what you're concerned about is that a single person can book into a 3-person room, right? That's what you're worried about?
No. It's 2 scenarios, or single or 3 people, yes. Like just variation. It's what I've had, by the way, and I was kind of trying to set up YouLi. It was a real scenario. I just put, per couple, and I put just, text in text form, what will be additional supplement for single and what will be for child in a room. It's what I did before.
Mm-hmm. You can also, like if you have like an addition of like a child, you can add a child as an add-on. So when they go to their invoice to check out, and I'll show you that in a minute, they would see like the add-on price for a child is $1,500. And that would then be added to when they check out and pay.
International one, you might not be able to do that. You might have to have them as an actual traveler because you'll need passports and that, but just so just thinking about that for a second, I just want to make sure, because this can be complicated. Yeah.
Because when I typically make a trip, I have a single rate, and I have a price per person based on double occupancy. Yep. So are you saying then that I'd have to create a separate trip, and that single person rate cannot be in that same trip? Is that what you're saying?
No, actually, she's got that example right here. So Ocean View with roommates is the twin share. That's the single person who's sharing a room. And then the private room upgrade is the single person who's paying for that room by themselves.
Should I rename this?
Is that clear now?
No, because it's confusing that way, because a single is a single, meaning the single supplement is already added. That's so correct. So $4,000 for a single person, 32 per person, double occupancy. So when I put it in, I have to put in a single, and I put in per person double occupancy. So if 2 people are a single, so it's not an add-on, and I'm not adding the extra charges because I've already set the price for a single. So that would be something I would have to set up like that in the beginning.
You would set your package, the twin share, you know, so that's, or double occupancy. Everyone calls it something different. So you
Double
pick
occupancy, yes.
label that, and that's your price per person, right? And that's
Right.
one person booking in, so there's no required group size there. It's just that's them booking that in, and you can then assign them a roommate. That's what they're agreeing to.
Oh, okay. No.
It's really easy for them to choose between that and buying a private room. This is what Eleanor Fish does. And you have it as two separate packages. That's one way to do it with the system.
Okay, two separate packages. I have to do so. Okay. That's what I was trying to figure out. Do I have to do it as two separate packages? Okay.
Or you can also just have double occupancy as your only package and then do an add-on. For if you want to, it's about your marketing, it's about your sales tactic, right? Do you want them to see it's 3,500 by myself, or it's 6,500 if I am getting my own room? So if I'm sharing, it's 3,500, and if I'm private, it's 6,500. You can make that really explicit with packages. If you prefer, and you just want them to sort of book into the base and then add on the single supplement, if you want to sort of think in single supplement terms, then you would do this, and you would make it an itinerary add-on on top of your double occupancy package. And that's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong choice. That's a marketing positioning, what you think your audience is going to respond well to. If they like to think of it as an add-on, or if they like to think of it as I'm picking my package and then everything else is added on after.
And there's one more application that we came across is it's your relationship with the vendors. So for example, you book that many rooms, and you know that many rooms that you book, like 20, right? They're all double occupancy. But you know that also you can upgrade to the luxury room of private anytime the destination allows you to do that. So you can provide that option to your traveler as a choice. But for you to plan, you want to make sure to know how many rooms and people you have total. Does that?
Really great point, Vika, which is that if you do it as packages, you can control inventory. So you can't upgrade everyone to a private room. Maybe you can only upgrade 3 people to private rooms, in which case you want it as a package, so you can put your inventory, your max bookings at 3. If you do it as an add-on, there's no limit to the number of people who can select the add-on. So if you're doing room management, you really want to make it as a separate package.
Did I answer? Yeah.
Joan, are you feeling that that's clearer now? Almost. We're not quite there.
I'm in the US, and when I do the packages, I typically have to state the single rate separately, because I always have somebody single trying to go. So instead of me trying to mark it up later on to do the single supplement, I just create the single rate, and I create the per person double occupancy rate. So I always have 2 rates.
Yeah. So you have packages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. That's exactly the example that Ellie has on her screen. What are you saying?
So this would be the single supplement option, and then this would be the double occupancy.
Okay. Okay.
I will say, right, we are working with a really in-depth and thought out features. So, using them for what works best for you does take a moment to think through and figure out why you need them. And so I do encourage you to reach out via the help box, which because I'm viewing right now isn't here, but for you will pretty much always be there. And ask me how can I, or how should I use packages? Because that's what I love doing with you guys. So, if you're not sure about a feature and how you might want to use it, don't hesitate to reach out for sure. So this is what it looks like for your travelers when they're viewing, right? They get to choose between the different package options, and they'll get to pay from here. I do want to hop in and show you what it also looks like to be booked. So just as it loads, give it 1 second. but here's an example, right, of one of my example travelers who's booked with, this is an old package, so it hasn't been updated and I haven't refreshed, but right, the double occupancy one that I changed the name of, right, you can see that she's paid. This is what it looks like for her when she's locked into that package. Any other quick questions specifically about packages? You know, some other examples of the way that we've seen packages being used on YouLi include like teams. If you book as a team, so you know, a team of 2 is this price, a team of 3 is this price, a team of 4 is this price. You know, managing rooms, so you know for sure you have a certain amount of rooms at this place, and so you have to have these rooms managed at this inventory. Any other examples, Jen, Vika, that you can think of? I mean, so many.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've also seen some people who've kind of done it based on, you know, other availability of maybe arriving early. So like if you want the 8-day version or you want the 10-day version, you know, it might be the different packages that
also if you have like just one package or 2 packages, Joan, like you said, you can also do like an early bird pricing, right, where one package is if you book in early, you get this cheaper rate. We've seen a lot of that as well.
Okay.
I think one of our clients, sorry, I didn't interrupt anyone. Yeah, okay. One of our clients also use the hidden package, right? So you don't necessarily want everyone to have access to that. So you have some luxury thing, that the VIP room that's only for that. And yeah, I would like to know how you do that, Ellie.
Great question. So, right, if you wanted to have like a package on the back end that's hidden, that's just for you to even help organize in some ways, right? At any point you can come in and change a package from hidden to disabled to published, right? So you could always have a package hidden and potentially, right, be able to change, and if you ever want to change the package for your travelers on the back end, you just do that through manage people. So you do, as the planner, have the ability to manage, right, your travelers' packages and price just as before. So if I go to manage people, and let's say I choose to edit Sarah, right, I have all this info, and then I can see package, and I have the ability to change her package.
So if they book for a single and later decide to come as a couple, and they already paid, let's say, deposit for a single, is that possible to do?
Everything's possible on YouLi.
Everything is possible. I like that.
But yes.
Sorry, just to follow up on the question from Vika, see the 3 packages that are available there? The packages that will be listed in this drop-down box are going to be the ones that are all the ones that are visible to the travelers, but also the ones that are hidden. If you had that one VIP special room, it will be here for you to select as the planner, but no one on the trip page can pick it themselves. So that's a way, if you need to control access to a special package and it's only a request and you don't want them to see it, that allows you to book them into it. And that's the difference between hidden versus disabled.
Exactly.
I can also send them invite to that specific package, right? As of rather than have it publicly open for everyone.
Exactly. I also just want a quick touch on extra registrations or invitation groups, because this is part of, if you're having people sign up as a family or as a couple, we've revamped this, and it ties in really well, right, with required booking size on a package. So you find the invitation groups where you set that, where it was before. We have renamed it and made it a little extra special. So you go to update trip settings, and then you click on this allow travelers to register in invitation groups. In this case, I've already set mine, but when you click a no, if you haven't set it yes, or a yes, you now have all of these ways for you to be able to personalize how you market your invitation groups. So we call it invitation group, right, in YouLi, but that could be family group, that could be, you know, that could be That could be team name. That could be any way that you label group.
Student.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Class, whatever. So this is where you get to choose, right? The max number of people per group. That doesn't mean they're required to be 2. It can be 1 or 2, right? This is where you can create that label for the number in the group. So basically you're saying, how many type of question here. They also get to name the group that they are going to be called. So instead of it being Ellie Huizinga, right, Ellie Huizinga's group, it can be just Huizinga family, right? I have the ability to name that when I register, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And then as well as you can rename them for whatever you would call the members of their group. So in this case, I've named it, give me the name of your partner, but that could be team member names. That could be family names, son, if it's a father-daughter trip, daughter's name there, and then as well as instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and pop over into my demo trip. And then, at booking, this is when this all comes up. So I click book now. And if you notice, right, full name, name, and then I get the instructions. Sorry, my computer is just extra slow. It'll get there. It'll get there. All right, let me refresh 1 second. All right. Great, so I'm going to register. I know that I want to sign up with my partner, so I click 2. And then I can see here, right, couple name, family name. I know that I'm going to give the name of my partner, and then I click book now. Any questions really about invitation groups?
Yeah, this used to be called extra registrations, and it causes some people. So we really recently think about allowing people to book into groups. So any kind of questions or feedback on this is really appreciated.
Yeah.
Hoping that we've made it more useful for real world situations where you want to prompt people to enter the names of the other people on the booking. We'll take that silence as
a good thing.
You guys are doing great. So Ellie, is that where you set up the minimum number of people you want on a trip?
So if there's a minimum number of people you want on a trip, you would kind of manage that with inventory as well as the amount of people. So you would do that with your packages, right? Because that's where you're going to be setting the amount of people that are required / coming on the trip, as well as making sure the right amount of people are booking onto each individual package.
Cool. Okay, so this one is when I want to have a group leader who manages kind of the group separately, and I want to deal with that group leader or student or a team leader, tribe leader, whatever they are. Okay, rather than dealing with one of them individually. Yeah.
Exactly. And it is to note when you're using invitation groups for the original sign up, right? They can choose, 1 or 2. So this is really the max number of people that can sign up together. When they get to the packages part of their checkout process, that's when they'll be required to book at a certain price. And if they have chosen one and they choose the couple package, no worries. They get prompted to automatically get an extra person there. So if they choose that package and make a deposit, they will have to pay for 2 people, whether or not they bring a second person or not.
Good to know.
Yeah. Any other questions? And it's okay if you don't have them now. You can literally ask me whatever you want with the chat box. So you can ponder them all. For me, it's nighttime. You can ponder them all night and ask me in the morning. So. All right.
Well, is there an opportunity for me to get some feedback on a new feature that we're working on? Hey.
Got time.
Yay. So guys, what you're seeing is what Ellie just showed you is all the done over the last couple of months to build out new functionality. We are constantly improving the platform based on feedback, based on these kinds of conversations. And so one of the things that's kind of come up over and over again is that people really want to see sort of unified view of what their travelers have done on their trip pages. And so this is going to be the new planner view for looking at a particular traveler. In this case, it's John. So this is looking at everything we know about John, sort of his profile, when an email was last sent to him, when he last viewed the trip page, if he has a personalized price, any notes that you've put in, and then kind of a summary of the payments that they've made, kind of where they're at, the ability for you to quickly send a receipt, which you can currently do from the trip page, but now we're bringing that in so you can quickly do that from the planner side. See who else is in their invitation group, so you can see how big their little is. You can see what their optional itinerary items are, what their task responses are, and what they've been up to. So any sort of activity that they've done on the trip. So this is what's coming in the next couple of weeks, and I'd really just like to hear from anybody on the call. Is this something that you would use or find valuable? Or do you have any questions about how this works?
Jen, I love our first feedback. It's, oh yes, exclamation point, exclamation point.
There you go. Lovely. Yeah, and thank you for that. That's an excellent start. Yay. All right, so this is good. We know we're moving in the right direction. We like that.
Awesome.
What would you guys call this? So if you're working with your team and you're saying to, to one of your people, like, oh yeah, just check out John's, what would you call this view if you
I mean, thought of client profile.
Client profile.
Profile.
So just one thing I want to know, this is for this trip only at this point. So, and so we are actually looking at bringing out full traveler profiles as well, which would be across trips too. But I think traveler profile is definitely one of those ones that keeps coming up for us when we think about this. Portfolio. Ooh, I like portfolio is neat. Yeah, and so I think it's the trip profile, maybe.
That's exactly what Pam just said.
There you go. Pam and I, man. I love it. Trip. Okay, yes. Karen, any kind of thoughts that you have? Just because Karen's been with us for quite a while, so she's seen the evolution of the platform.
Yeah, no, it looks really good to me. I'll be using it. I'm definitely going to use the single supplement thing. What I want to know is that a new icon that you've got between the pencil and the tick?
Oh, this actually, yeah, that is the icon that will be used to get to this view. It actually won't be on the left-hand side here. This is an older design. It will actually be in the Manage People view. So you click to Manage People, and then you'll click on an icon that looks like this, and it will take you here. So, so that's kind of, do you guys think that that's a good icon for coming here? Sort of the clipboard, the trip clipboard, there you go. That's kind of neat. The trip board. I like it. Pam is getting really creative. Sorry, what was that, Jeff? Oh no. Yeah, so I think the idea here is to kind of create that one view of not only the traveler but also their companions, because we are finding more and more of our clients are kind of encouraging people to book in as like little either couples or families or teams, and things like 4-wheel drive trips. I think we're talking to people like how many people are going to be in the car, right? So is that one person? Is that 6 people? That kind of thing. I love it. A traveler trip board. All right. What do you guys think? Can I get a show of hands of who likes traveler trip board as a name for this? Oh, not everyone's got their cameras on. Can you do the thumbs up thing? Okay, we've got a clap from Ellie. We got a thumbs up from Chantel.
Yeah,
all right, I think we're gonna try that one out. So traveler trip board. Thank you guys very much for letting me bring you into the process that we have for improving YouLi. So yeah, I really appreciate your time. And Ellie, thank you so much for walking us through this. And as we said, look, these are new features. We're constantly evolving. You're going to evolve the way you work with YouLi as new features come out. And so please engage with us to get help and join these calls, and don't be afraid to experiment. Just go ahead and try it and see how it works for you. That's all from me.